Welcome back. We're going to do one more video using the Retromatic app. And in this case, I'm going to show you how you can basically layer collage images on top of a background of your choosing rather than using one of the backgrounds that defaults in the Retromatic app. So for this one, I've loaded this picture up here. This is obviously a sacred geometry, and I want my picture that I'm creating, I want this to be the background of it. So what I'm going to do when I'm pinching the outline, I'm just going to draw a big square around this image itself. Just going to make sure that I get right to the edges so that the full thing is what I'm using. And I'm not even going to push auto here because I know that this is the background that I want. I don't want to use any of their papyrus and whatever background. So I'm going to just push the arrow at the top right-hand corner. And like I mentioned in the first Retromatic video, Retromatic just likes to turn things orange. What I'm going to do here, rather than fiddling with the background at all, which is where I'm at now, you can see papyrus, silkscreen, portrait, platform, all of these different backgrounds below. But what I actually want to go into is the effects function, which will allow me to work with this actual photo. Instead of it being tangerine, I'm going to hit normal so that it's the original colors I wanted. And then I'm just going to use my fingers to spread it across this entire background here. So that is beautiful. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load another photo. In this case, it's going to be a photo of my hands. So I'm going to push the plus sign up at the top corner of the screen. I'm going to load a photo from my camera roll, and it's going to be one of my hands. And so this is an interesting kind of hack that you can use with Retromatic. In this case, because I was taking this photo by myself and I was kind of awkwardly placing my hand against the wall, so I couldn't really use a self-timer and get both of my hands in this photo, but I can pretend that I did get both of them by duplicating this one hand here. So I'm going to start by tracing this hand using my finger. Again, it doesn't have to be pretty, just approximate. And then I'm going to hit the auto button in the bottom right-hand corner to see what Retromatic thinks I want. And you can see it took my thumb ring off. So I'm just going to zoom in here. It cut off a little bit of the bottom of my wrist as well. So I'm just going to put that back in. I can use the eraser here to erase these kind of messy lines. I'm going to go back to the brush. I'm going to fill in my ring here. And then I'm going to scroll up. It looks like the back of my hand here has a tiny bit. And also this knuckle ring of mine didn't get included, as well as this fingernail. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so that I can actually have a little bit more control with my finger, because it is, as you know, kind of awkward to trace things with your finger. So there we go. That's close enough to what I want as far as the tracing goes. So I'm going to push the arrow at the top right. It makes it orange again. Let's see how it looks with portrait. That's kind of cool that it has this glow around it. This is what normal looks like. Actually, the normal is pretty cool too. I could decide that I want sort of like a black and white effect. Mercury, 60s. So I think I'll stick with portrait. And what I wanted to do here is basically make it seem like I was holding a ball of energy in between two hands. I obviously don't want this hand to just be like disembodied here. So I'm gonna use my fingers to stretch it and make it a little bit larger. And I'm gonna move it right over to the side here. And when I'm happy with the position and the sizing of it, what I'm gonna do, you can see that little line of icons above my hand. I'm gonna push the second one in, which has like a little plus sign and duplicates it. And then what I'm gonna do is rotate that, flip it horizontally, and bring it back here. So now it kind of has this effect that I've created this sacred geometry ball inside of my glowing hands, even though I was only able to take a photo of one of my hands. It ends up looking kind of cool in Retromatic. So I do have the option, if I wanted to go into this middle thing here, I could add a little swirly energy inside if I wanted to. I could add this hand-drawn gross little app thing in there. I could add, if I wanted to, let's pretend that I want this. So I could increase the size of it to however much I wanted. I could change it to be whatever color I wanted. So let's say that I wanted it to be this color, but I don't want it to cover my hands. So this is where I can actually move it down a little bit using the layers option in the icons above this little bullseye here. So right now it's at the very top layer. I can put it down into the middle, and you'll see how that's coming underneath that, and push that again, and it goes underneath my hands, but not underneath the very bottom image, which is the sacred geometry. So I could change the color to whatever I wanted here. Unfortunately, with Retromatic, you can't make the colors more transparent or translucent. It's just these colors, and the saturation is what it is. But that at least shows you how you can move things up or down in your image collages. And in this case, I don't actually want this, so I'm just going to push the trash can. And now I'm just going to hit the bottom right arrow to save it. I'm going to hit save, and it's going to let me know that it was saved successfully. So at this point, I could either post that photo just as is, or I could import it into something like Lens Flare or Pixlr or PhotoCandy to add some further embellishments to it. So I hope this helps. Have fun with Retromatic, and I'll see you in another video.